The Sports Scouting Report with Lee Brecheen. Brought to you by Medine's Collision Center in Baton Rouge. Take control, choose Medine's. Grosse Savant Lodge, south of Lake Charles, the true sportsman's paradise. Treads and Care Company in Central, the tires you need, the service you want. Harvey Auto in Shreveport, Bossier City, the name you have trusted for years. And Gage in Baton Rouge. Get better connected with Gage. Here's your host, Lee Brecheen.
Well, hi everybody, I'm Lee Brecheen, your host of Sports Scouting Report. We have another show today, great show. We love bringing people on from all over Louisiana, and today I really am glad that we've got the head football coach from Westminster High School. Where are they? Opelousas, Louisiana. Travis Blaize is going to join us, and also two of his top recruits that are seniors. We couldn't bring all 15 or 20 starters, but we will talk a lot about them. But the two kids that came in, DeJean and also Cameron Randall, that'll be on today. And we're going to talk about, you know, all the schools in the area. There's a lot of good schools in Opelousas that have football. Believe it or not, I'm amazed how many football teams you have in such a small town. But when we come back, we'll talk about that and much, much more. We'll be right back.
Listen, whatever you're driving right now, Tommy Harvey wants it. Bring it in to Harvey Subaru, Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City, or John Harvey Toyota. They're paying big bucks for all trades right now. They'll cut you a check right there. Tell them Lee sent you. If you need a paint job or repairs to your vehicle, go see Medine's Collision Center located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on Kincaid Avenue. The number to call is 357-7983. That's 357-7983. Your Baton Rouge Accident Advisors.
Welcome back. I'm Lee Brecheen, your host of the Sports Scouting Report. I hope you're enjoying the show. Our first guest is going to be a big-time recruit from Westminster, DeJean, who is a big-time athlete. I really don't want to say one position. I mean, you could say slot receiver. You could say DB at the next level. You could say running back, kick return, punt return. I think he does everything but make Gatorade for the team. But I want to go ahead and introduce our first guest, and later in the show we're going to have Cameron Randall, his teammate, and also head coach Travis Blaize. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Glad to be here.
I like the. I told you I like the jerseys you guys have.
Yes,
those
sir.
are new, right?
Yes, sir. Coach Blaize hooked us up this year.
Those just came in?
Yes, sir. We got the Navy ones at the end of the last season.
Wow. Are you an Ole Miss fan, or you just like the jerseys too?
I like the colors.
You like the colors?
The colors.
What makes you so good as an athlete for this team? I mean, I saw you on film last year, and I mean, you can go, man. I mean, I don't know what your hand time is. It doesn't really matter to me, but you're fast. And for people that care, but I mean, you run a legit 4.5, right?
Yes, sir.
And then track, you're in the hurdles.
Yes, sir. 110 in the 300-meter hurdles.
Wow. So between track and football, I mean, you're year-round, big time, right?
Yes, sir. I play 4 sports actually. I play football, soccer, track, and then I do baseball.
You do soccer and baseball too?
Yes, sir.
You're not the goalie in soccer, huh?
No, sir.
What do you play in soccer?
I'm the center back.
And I'm not really familiar with soccer heavily, but yeah, I just know goalie. But now baseball, what positions do you play?
Center field, right field, left field, just any of those. And then if I'm not in the field, I'm base running for people.
Tyler, that makes sense. As fast as you are, I always know in baseball, put the fastest guy in center field.
Yes, sir.
You haven't dropped the ball probably, huh?
No, sir. Never a routine drop.
What do you think when you see a guy drop a ball in a college game on TV?
Just not thinking about it, trying to make that Sports Center catch, trying to think about all the cameras on you. Just got to get in the zone and make the play.
And that's got to be a bad feeling, especially if
yes, sir.
Bases are loaded or something.
Yeah.
What is your favorite sport? I know your coach is here today.
Definitely football.
All right.
I've been playing it for pretty much all my life.
So with all 4 sports, where do you think you're most advanced now that you're a senior coming up?
I would say probably football, just because I've had more time to fundamentally master it.
Okay.
But track, I just have the natural speed. I've never had to do crazy speed training to try to get needed to get faster.
Yeah. Well, you can tell the speed in the game. I mean, you make a lot of plays, and the coach utilizes you in a lot of ways.
Yes, sir.
What do you want to do to help your team this coming senior season? I know your junior year you had a good year. I mean, I know you had some big plays this past year. Was there anything you need to work on for your team and for Coach with Westminster?
Yes, sir. I think one of the major things is just getting the yards after the catch. Just not only just, you have to complete the pass, but you got to get those yards afterwards.
Yeah.
And next year I'm going to have to play a big role for my team, and hopefully we can get it done.
You got bigger this year too.
Yes, sir.
I know you look like you've grown a little bit since last year.
Yes, sir. Coach has just had us in the weight room, just always just, muscle movements that you need in game, not just like random, maxing out, just a lot of just explosive things that you need for the game.
Y'all have a pretty good weight room because I've seen it.
Yes, sir. It's pretty nice.
Pretty good weight room to
So you
work
can get
out.
everything done.
The team has got more players than I've seen in a long time too. I mean,
Yes,
how do you
sir.
feel as a Westminster football player coming up? I think y'all have a chance to. I mean, last year y'all were so close to make the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
And I'm going to be interviewing your teammate Cameron Randall, who looks like he's grown a lot too since last year. But
Yes, sir.
y'all look like y'all have a chance to really do special things this year.
Yes, sir. We're really trying. We just need to get out there and just get the grind. And
Tell everybody your height and weight, because I know everybody likes knowing that in recruiting. But
yes, sir. I'm 5'10" and I'm 160 right now. But summer's starting, so
long, tough
sir.
though. You take some hits. I mean, you
Yes,
make
sir.
plays. And what is your favorite play from last year? Do you have one that sticks out?
Absolutely.
Tell everybody who you. Oh, Hanson. Okay.
Hanson Memorial. It was the fourth quarter, just like probably a minute left. It was 4th and 10. It's running all fades. I'm at slot, run it, just like go by the the safety.
Okay.
And get the ball.
Catch was hard. It was in motion.
It was perfect. Just like up here catch. And
Were they on you when you were catching it, or were they?
no,
just
sir.
kinda-
They were just.
You were thinking, where is he, or where?
Yes, sir. I was only thinking about that ball going in my hands.
Because
and
you
when
see
I
a
caught
lot
it-
of those plays. Don't you see it on TV where kids kind of maybe get a little.
Yeah.
They think too much about
They think too
where's that
much and
guy?
then they drop it.
You're gonna get
But-
hit anyway. The old
Yes,
saying.
sir. But I was just thinking about the catch and my team, and it just the play had to be made, and then went on to win the game.
You took it to the house on that play.
Oh yes, sir. It was in the end zone.
Wow. How far out was it, the catch?
It was 4th and 10 from about the 20.
It was 4th and 10.
Yes, sir.
That was a big play.
Yes, sir.
I
And
mean,
everybody
coach is
in the
probably
huddle.
sweating on the sideline with the headset going
Yes, sir.
on. I just want a first down, right?
Yes, sir.
But that's, man, to get in there and obviously the high fives and the camaraderie of the
Yeah.
team, it's probably the juiced up best play
Yeah,
of the
one
year
of
for
the-
you, huh?
One of the best moments, just the time I had with my teammates, like right after that catch, and we knew we started a game to finish out. So we just got right back to it, and we made the final interception of the game, the next defensive play.
So you want to be that guy for the big play in the big games.
Yes, sir. I mean, if I'm the guy that they're going to throw it to, I'm going to make the play, and that's, for my team. And
Yeah. What's it like playing with a talented guy like Cameron Randall? Because he can play running back, he can play tight end, DN, linebacker.
he's just a great player all around. I mean, he's just big. He has a good work ethic, and he just really gets it done in the weight room too.
And y'all have some talented young running backs coming up.
Yes, sir. Michael Cunningham.
Really fast.
Yes, sir. Really fast.
And young guys. Some of these guys are, freshmen, going to be sophomores?
Yes, sir. He's going to be a sophomore.
And Bryn Ray's a pretty good lineman. I know.
Bryn Ray, I trust every play to go behind him.
Tough, strong guy. Who is
sir.
the strongest guy on the team? I know your team's going to be watching this, but
I'd probably say Caleb Savoy.
okay.
He's our guard. Just a big guy.
Anybody benching 3+ or squatting over 4?
Oh, Caleb's squatting over 4
Is
for
he?
reps. Yes, sir.
And he's what, 185? 190?
Oh,
A little bigger than that?
2 something.
Oh, he grew a lot. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
lineman.
He's pretty
I'm
big.
thinking of the skill player side. Well, I'm thinking of
Oh, yes, sir.
So yeah, but he's a guy you don't want to try and work out with the same weight on the.
Oh, no, sir. I don't think I
You
can
got to
do
take all the
that.
weight off working out with him.
Yes, sir.
I used to hate that when I was working out with linebackers or something on a football team. People don't realize when you got 250 on the bench and you're only lifting 135.
Yeah.
You're having to take they're like, you take it off. It's your reps,
Yeah.
So, but look, good luck to you. I know you're going to be a senior this coming year.
Yes, sir.
You're a good student. You can run 4.5. I think you're a big time player. I told Coach I said, man, this guy's really got a chance to be special, and I know that today is a chance to get a look here with the coaches, get to know you. And we're going to have Cameron Randall come on next, and then Coach Blaize from Westminster. But I appreciate it. Any shout out to anybody you want to mention?
Shout out to my parents, my mom and dad, just always pushing me to be better no matter what.
Good luck to you this coming year.
Yes,
and good luck with those hurdles, too.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back. We're going to have more. We're going to have Cameron Randall, his teammate, Tyler DeJean's teammate from Westminster. Then we're going to have the coach himself, Travis Blaize, will join us from Westminster High School in Opelousas, Louisiana. We'll be right back.
Be sure to take your car and truck for all your tire needs to Treads and Care Tire Company located in Central. The number to call is 331-8144. Family owned and operated since 1971. That's Treads and Care Tire Company. Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Tyler DeJean, who is a great athlete from Westminster, class of 223. So when you watch Westminster this coming football season, which will be August, we're right around the corner. It's unbelievable that we're almost at jamboree. I mean, skipping a hop 2 or 3 months away. And then practice will kick in with a lot of teams. Some teams have late spring, some have early. And so now that Easter is over, I hope everybody had a great Easter, by the way. I want to go ahead and introduce another great player that I think is a D1 player from Westminster. Played a little running back last year, played a little H-back, plays DN, linebacker, can play really everywhere on the field. 6'2 and a half, 205, probably weigh 210, 215. His senior year, can really run. One of those jumbo athletes that the big schools have to say, you know what, we're going to sign him because he's going to grow into something special. Cameron Randall.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us.
Nice to be here.
Did I say that right about you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How do you feel about your senior year coming up and you're playing all these positions?
I feel like
offense, defense. I mean, you're
right. Yeah, I feel like it's a great opportunity for me. Learning experience. I feel like once I get to college, there will be like different positions that they're like, yeah, he could play this position and that position. I can trust him here, and I wouldn't have to worry about too much mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. You're that guy though. I can see. If you settle on at running back this year, they're going to go, whoa, you're that big back.
Right. Yeah.
That can be 220, 6'2 and a half.
Yes, sir.
Or they'll say, man, we need an outside linebacker.
Right.
And we're going to get you to 225, 230.
Right.
And you can run.
Right.
And so you're running, what, almost 4.55, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Which is really good. I mean, and I know you play basketball, and you were telling me you play 2-guard forward.
Yes, sir.
For Westminster. How does that help you in football? Because I know that you said you can rebound and score.
Right. Yes, sir. It helps me, like, with football and going to basketball, it helps me be more aggressive, on the court. And my work ethic, it's just, my progress is like, it just goes through the roof. Because with the football workouts, you have, like, footwork, you have, like, getting stronger, faster. Flexibility, mobility, everything. It just it helps. And that's like with any sport that you play.
Yeah.
I
think you're going to be a big time signee in the end and wherever you choose to go. And Coach, I know Coach is going to utilize you again really well. But you could even be a tight end. You can, if you keep growing like you're growing. But did you watch the NCAA National Championship game in basketball?
Yes, sir. Yes,
what did you think of Duke not winning? Coach K going out.
Man, I have some Duke merch in my room.
Oh, so you were a Duke guy a little bit?
Yeah, but it is what it is. You just got to work harder.
And then Kansas. I didn't think Kansas would win it. I thought North Carolina would pull it out.
Probably North Carolina for sure. They got some good dudes on their team.
They just ran out of juice at the end.
Yeah.
And then Duke, K is retiring.
Right.
And then North Carolina, they lose everybody. Basketball is crazy.
It's a lot of changes. Yeah.
Kansas is young, the one that won it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I watched Baylor beat Kansas by 25 this year. I'm like, whoa, what's the deal? Now, football's not like that, right? Because you only have, 11 games, 10 during the season for you in high school.
Yes, sir.
But, so y'all went 7-3 last year, right?
Yes, sir.
And they were so close to the playoffs.
Yeah, it was close.
What's the goal, Cameron, about this coming season starting with Jamboree week, which will be in August?
Let's start. We gotta like hit them, gotta hit them with a punch, because we can't show teams our weaknesses at all. You know, like if we do bad one play, we gotta come back the next play doing something that's people they would never expect.
Yeah.
You know, that's the plan every time. I mean, as a team, we gotta work hard and show our best capabilities, because it can show a lot of teams that we're better than what they think we are. Once we step on the field, that's.
Here's what I wanted to ask you. You know, with this NIL thing, and y'all have had time to digest this, high school kids.
Right.
You've had a few months. I've had a few months to digest it, and there's good and bad. But you growing up as a kid in recruiting, when the recruiting really heats up for you, probably I would say August, September, making a choice on the college. What do you think about the way it is now set up with NIL deal? Everybody's going to get one.
Right.
But did you grow up with a college in mind, that's my school? Do you have a school or two that you've always liked?
Growing up for basketball, it was UCLA.
Okay.
But now I'm looking at LSU for football.
Okay.
My plan is to go to college out of state. So I was thinking Jackson State football.
You're on the Deion Sanders train,
yeah,
huh? I mean, Deion has done that with Louisiana, but if there's no scholarships left at Jackson State, would you? I mean, what if LSU comes calling? I could see that happen.
Yeah, I could see that happening too. You know, staying here with the family. You know.
Yeah, I mean, you might end up being the best jumbo athlete in the state this coming year, I think.
Yes, sir.
UCLA, I love that.
Yes, sir.
I was a John Wooden fan growing up, but
really?
They went to the Final Four, 2 years ago?
Yes, sir.
And came really close to doing it. Why did they not do good this year? They had everybody back.
Yeah, they had everybody. I don't know, man.
The point guard came back. The forward came back. The two shooters came back.
Right. Yeah, basketball is changing. Clear.
The passion didn't look like it was there as much.
Nah.
You know, they already got a feel for that Final Four, and it's amazing how that works. But Cameron, anything you want to any shout out to any parents or anybody you want to talk to?
I shout out to my parents. My dad worked hard, you know, over my entire life. He was there to provide for the family, you know, do what a father should do. My mom, you know, she did good being an at-home mother, you know, teaching me the ways through life and telling me to never give up on anything that I do. And I shout out to my aunts and my uncles for being there for me too. You know, they were a big addition to my life. And they all went through a lot, so it kind of motivated me to do better.
Final question, is there any better food than food in Opelousas?
I mean, not my mama's food. But,
She's the best cook?
Yes.
It's always the mom, man. It's always the mom. My mom was still the best cook in my life. But yeah, I love eating in Opelousas. There's some great places there to eat.
Yes.
Appreciate you joining us, Cameron.
Yes,
good luck to you, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Good luck with basketball his senior year. You got football coming up. And so you met Tyler DeJean, you met Cameron Randall. Now we're going to meet the man that runs the program at Westminster, head football coach Travis Blaize, when we come back.
Gage has served Louisiana for over 40 years. Let Gage create a custom-tailored solution for your business and become your partner in technology. Give them a call today at 225-753-4243 and help your business get better connected with Gage. Looking for a used car? Harvey Autos has 3 dealerships, which means 3 times the used vehicles. They've got everything from fuel-efficient compacts to luxury models, even hybrids, and certified pre-owned with a warranty. Check out John Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, or Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Lee Brecheen, your host of the Sports Scouting Report. Also check out our other shows where we do interviews over the phone video. We'll have a North Louisiana interview this week with a big-time coach. We also have a radio version podcast, and I'm actually about to have a big-time baseball recruit join me that's committed to LSU from Texas. I don't want to say his name yet because I need to confirm it, but I'm going to probably have a show with one of the top outfielders from Dallas, Texas that's going to LSU in a year that's committed to LSU. If not, I'm going to have another big-time recruit lined up for this Friday. But I want to go ahead and introduce our head football coach from Westminster High School in Opelousas, Travis Blaize.
No, thank you for having us. We're very excited to be here, and glad we got to have our kids talk a little bit, and really appreciate you guys. So,
Travis, I want to talk a little bit about Travis. Before he was a coach, and he still is in the National Guard, 15 years in counting.
Yes, sir. Just count down to retirement now.
Appreciate your commitment to our military and being a part of that. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
You've spent some time overseas. You were able to experience things that a lot of us haven't, but you're able to dual it. You're still National Guard. When I called you about 2 weeks ago, I was like, Travis, can you do the interview? You're like, well, I'm off for a National Guard deal somewhere.
Training. Yes, sir.
And I said, well, look, man, you don't have to do it. And you're like, no, I want to do it. And I'm like, man, you're like me. You got 3 jobs. And then you're also a coach. You're also a dad. And how do you juggle everything? I mean, I know that you love, but again, appreciate your service.
Well, the National Guard gave me the opportunity to get to where I am today because of the benefits of paying for my school and, I got to be a college athlete because I had something helping pay for some of my school, and then got my degree in education and got into coaching, and then, as for the job of being a dad, those are, I love all 3 of my little jobs. You have to love what you do, and I love to teach and coach, and I love more than anything to be a dad, and the National Guard has helped propel me into those roles. And like you said, some of the experiences going overseas and doing things the average person doesn't get to do. It's what's the beauty of being a citizen soldier, and it's taking care of me and my family. So I'm just eternally grateful that I've had the opportunity to be able to share some of my experiences with my athletes and with the kids that I teach.
Yeah, we appreciate that, and talk about your background. I didn't know till today, but you went to ULL in track.
Yes, sir.
I didn't know. Tell everybody about your track background.
I was actually telling the kids the story on the way here. I really wanted to play football, and everything was looking like I was going to have to walk on. And at the regional meet, I had a good day in the pole vault, had a good day in the relays, and Coach Charlie Mahfouz walked over to my dad and said, we want to offer him as a decathlete. My dad, 53 years coaching track, looks over and goes, Coach, have you ever seen him throw the discus? Are you sure about that? And they gave me the opportunity. I went to my medic school for the Army, and when I came back, Coach Pat Arsenault gave me a call and said, we still want to have you, and did 3 years before I got injured. And it's just another thing to add to the wealth of experience that I've been blessed to have, that I can pass down to the athletes. Now when kids are getting recruited and kids are wanting to be a college athlete, I'm grateful that I can relate to them and say, this is the schedule of a college athlete. Yeah. These are the things you have to do. So,
speaking of that, I have a lot of friends that play pro ball, and obviously in the 30 years of being in the business, I have a hamburger and eat lunch with them and hear their stories. But any kids watching, like Coach said, or any parent, it's great to get the scholarship, but it's not a 5-hour day. It's an 18-hour day. And when I say 18-hour day, I mean you're a college kid living that 18-hour day. It's a big-time commitment. Now, you have all the whistles and bells at ULL and LSU and Tech and a lot of these schools, but like I said, that commitment, you were a track athlete, so that was a long day as well.
Right, so I started as a decathlete, so it was get to the facility at 1:30, 2 o'clock, and you'd have to work these events and these events and these events, and 5:45 weights twice a week and those things. And it's definitely, I tell them all the time, like it's a full-time job. It's something that, they're paying for your school, so they expect a commitment from you no matter what sport you're doing. Even if you're doing golf, we would finish at 6:30 and the golf team was coming in to work out. So I tell them, like, you can't avoid the weight room, you can't avoid the commitment, and you can't avoid what you got to do in the classroom. But again, it's just something I've been just very grateful to be able to share that experience with them, because I think it betters them as well.
ULL has a new football coach. What do you think of
so Mike actually played for my father. My father was the offensive coordinator at Catholic High. So we've known the family, and I played. The brother Matt is 2 years older than me, so we know the Desimo family really well. They're all very classy, great people. Matt's doing an outstanding job at Ascension Episcopal, and I think it's going to be a seamless transition. Mike holds a high standard, and Mike is just a good person. If you ask any of his players, you saw how excited his players were when he got that job. I think a lot of us were equally excited for him. I mean, Mike is just a good dude.
Your dad coached at Vermilion Catholic too, right?
He's coached a lot of places in 53 years. But,
I remember talking to him at Vermilion as a coach. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to have more Travis Blaize. When we come back, we're going to talk about the schools in the area, which is a lot of talent in Opelousas. A lot of schools in Opelousas. And then we're going to talk about his team later in the show. And at the end of the show, we'll talk a little NBA. Coach is an NBA fan. He's a Pelicans fan. We'll talk about that. We'll be right back.
If you need a paint job or repairs to your vehicle, you've got to go to Medine's Collision Center, located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on Kincaid Avenue. The number to call is 357-7983. That's 357-7983. Family owned since the 1960s. Be sure to take your car and truck for all your tire needs to Treads & Care Tire Company, located in Central. Call 331-8144. Family owned and operated. It's 1971. That's 331-8144.
Welcome back. I'm Lee Brecheen, your host of the Sports Scouting Report. Also, before we get back to Travis Blaize, the head coach of Westminster in Opelousas, you can go to YouTube to watch the show. You can go to wherever you get your podcasts. Podbean is our app that we use that has our show. Or you can go to anywhere on our website, lafootballmagazine.com. Many places to get the show, and you can like the show, or if you want to follow me, it's at Lee Brecheen, my name, Twitter. I'm only on Twitter usually to promote our shows, and every now and then we'll talk about it. I do sports pro stuff, college stuff. But to go back to Coach Travis Blaize, coach from Westminster, the Opelousas area is just, I've been in this 30-plus years, and I've watched Devery Henderson at Opelousas High School, Mike Hayes, who went to LSU from Opelousas, Robert Hammond was USA Today Player of the Year one year for Louisiana. Opelousas Catholic has had great players. They just had a kid sign with Michigan State. Westminster's had their great athletes come out of there, your school. Northwest has had some great players. They had a kid go to Rice 2 years ago. Livonia, Port Barry's not far away. You got several schools in this small area there. What do you think of, for such a small town?
So when I arrived, I reached out to many of these coaches from these other schools to try and develop that relationship, because during the summer we'll go and we'll play 7-on-7 with Opelousas and with Port Barry, and Church Point's nearby. We could go and see them. And so what it does for us being in 1A is it gets our kids a chance to go against top tier competition. Have a great relationship with Jimmy Zachary at Opelousas. I called him one day. We had a team flake out. I said, Coach, the team was supposed to come, couldn't make it. He said, I'll be there in 15 minutes, and their bus pulls up, and we're 7-on-7 with Opelousas.
That's always good.
Great for our kids, because they have a really special group of athletes, and they coach hard there. And it's a very competitive area in the district with Opelousas Catholic and North Central, not too far outside. It just makes it for good competition. Bo Shin is very close to us as well. Coach Marcus was actually my DB's coach in high school. So when they hired him, I was very excited for him. Great man, great leader, and same thing. They can come to us right down the road.
He's going to be the new coach this year.
This will be his second year.
Second year,
yes, sir. So,
they had a 6'7" lineman sign with Arkansas last
2 years ago. The Manuel kid, very very special talent, and Marcus does a good job getting the most out of his kids. So they came to us and looked pretty good, and it gave us a chance to again go against top tier competition.
You're looking at a small town. With probably 10 kids that sign every year just in football. Opelousas, I know Jace talked to Jimmy Zachary the other day. I watched him play last year. They got 10 prospects coming back. They're as loaded as I've seen in years. Opelousas Catholic's probably one of their better teams in a while. And then Northwest has always got talent. Like you said, Brecheen's got good players.
Marcus had a really good year there. Opelousas Catholic won the district last year. They're good every year. They're very well coached. I think Coach David does an excellent job with those guys, and they're very tough and physical up front, and that's what makes them special. And they always have some good skill players. You mentioned Keon a minute ago. So, I mean, just a collection of good competitive teams for us, and it's good for us to play those teams in our area because when we branch out of the area, I feel like we're battle tested and ready to go.
Oh, because you don't see better athletes. I mean, you see great athletes, big guys on every team. And baseball coach in the area, and basketball is very competitive.
So the basketball games are phenomenal in the area. I always tell the story, Opelousas was standing in their 2-3 zone with their arms out, and I'm like, where do you pass the basketball? Just a lot of length and a lot of athleticism on the floor. And then baseball, our district is very, very competitive in baseball. So it's good for our kids. They're tested year-round. There's no cakewalks, and I think that's what's going to build character. That's what's most important in athletics. So
August Petrie was the kid that signed with Rice a couple of years ago from Northwest. When I think of Plaisance, Louisiana, or Opelousas, I think of Carl Dunbar, who went to LSU.
And his son Carmichael is one of my dear friends. Who's
went to UL.
Yes, and he's now a strength coach at Florida. And you want to talk about great family, great people. And I can call Carl and, hey, Carl, what's going on in the weight room with this, and this? And he'll take time out of his day to tell me, Coach, you probably want to make sure you're looking at this, and this. And, I can go to him for anything. So just an outstanding group of people and good family.
And his son went to high school in Minnesota when he was with the Vikings. So he had a little Minnesota background on the resume there and did a good job. He was a lineman like his daddy. And Carl, if you see the show, man, great guy.
Absolutely.
I dealt with Carl when he was at LSU. He was recruiting coordinator for Les Miles at one time, and he was at Oklahoma State. We'll be right back with more of Coach Travis Blaize from Westminster. We're going to talk about his team when we come back.
Gros Savon Lodge, the true sportsman's paradise. Gros Savon Lodge has fresh and saltwater fishing, alligator hunting, waterfowl hunting, and eco tours located south of Lake Charles, Louisiana. Give them a call at 337-598-2357. That number to call again is 337-598-2357, and have the time of your life. Gage has served Louisiana for over 40 years. Let Gage create a custom-tailored solution for your business and become your partner in technology. Give them a call today at 225-753-4243 and help your business get better connected with Gage.
Welcome back. Lee Brecheen, your host. We're going to go back to Travis Blaize, the head coach of Westminster. I didn't pronounce it right. Jace told me that. No I in the end. And for 27 years, Coach, I've been pronouncing the name wrong. No one's ever told me, but Jace is trying to look out for me with that. But, yeah, no I, Westminster.
Westminster, yes, sir.
Prior to you becoming the coach, 27 years ago, I remember Tommy Badon was the head coach. They went to the playoffs every year. I was at a game. I don't know what year it is. Forgive me if you're a fan of Westminster. Is that they're playing John Curtis in the playoffs. It was a second-round game, I believe, and it was a phenomenal game against John Curtis High School, who was loaded at the time. And I want to say Joe McKnight, the late Joe McKnight, might have been on the team as well. And then you had Vinny Valera, who came in and did a good job, who's now at Catholic Point Capee and New Roads. And then you had Clarkston, who was there, Patrick Clarkston, who did a good job. And now yourself. So it's always been a good run of coaches coming in and a program that always cared about their kids. And I've been to the school a couple of times, and it's a unique place. But talk about the school itself, Travis, and how close the people are there.
So one of the benefits of coaching in a 1A school is everybody. It's a tight-knit family, and everybody looks out for everybody. And it's easy to maintain discipline over your athletes and those things because all the coaches are walking in lockstep. And I've just been very fortunate that the coaches before me all did a good job of leaving the school in good shape, not leaving the cupboard bare and those things. And our facilities are probably second to none for a 1A school.
Yeah.
And the coaches before having taken care of those things, it was a blessing that somebody gave us such wonderful facilities, both football, baseball, and basketball. And so we're continuing to try and grow. We're continuing to try and spread the good message and the discipline that we bestow upon our kids. And just very fortunate to go into a program that cares about not just the success on the field, but their successes off the field and their character and those things. And my message and the message of the athletic director and administration all aligned, and it was a seamless fit from day one. So I've just been very fortunate.
I want to mention this. I went to a practice, been a long time, and I met a gentleman, the late Don Mashburn, and his grandson was on the team, ended up going to Louisiana Tech. And Don, I want to say with respect to his family, because he donated weights to Westminster.
I think they built the field house,
the field
baseball
house.
field house, and that's why I tell those kids every day, it's because people loved you and cared about this program that we have such special things, and we're so grateful for them.
Don did it with Opelousas High School as well, and great people. We lost Don not too many years ago, but I used to go to his company and drink Sprite and hang out with him, talk football, but he loved the school. Mm-hmm. I know some other people that their kids went there. They're phenomenally grateful for the academic side and the athletic side. But talk about your team, Travis. We met Cameron Randall. We met Tyler, DeJean, two of your seniors, but you've got some other guys that are coming back. You got some young guys that played for you. Me and you talked about the other day that I saw that were only freshmen last year that really started and looked like juniors. But what do you think of your mix? You got the young and the old coming back.
So I think we're old where it matters, and that's in the trenches. We have a very good offensive line group. Bryce Guillory, I think, is going to take that next step. We mentioned Caleb, probably our strongest kid on the team. I think it's incredible about Caleb. He's a 250-plus pound kid. He did gymnastics when he was little, so he's extremely flexible at his size and has Caleb Savoie, and just great bendability and his ability to move as a big guy. You would think big like that he couldn't. And then Bren Ray's a mauler. Bren's going to be another guy that has a chance to get recruited. He's got the frame. He's every bit of 6'3". And
good feet.
Yeah, great feet. Great baseball player, and just a great kid, just a motivator, a leader, calls our protections and those things. So we're old where it matters, and we got some young guys that can juice it. Josh Casimir at the wide receiver, returner, very special, had some big plays for us. And then the running back, Michael Cunningham, Draylen Petrie, another one who played some DB last year, is going to have to come help us out on offense. We have a young quarterback. He'll be a freshman. He got experience as an 8th grader last year. He got in games as an 8th grader. That's just the situation we're in with our numbers. And, for him to step in as an 8th grader and throw a touchdown against Opelousas Catholic, who's a phenomenal program, coached by some of the best coaches in the area, it kind of gave him a little moxie to understand, like, look, you can do this, you belong here. So we got the guys to look out for him. We'll be young in the skill positions, but that's what it's about. We got to grow this program and take those steps. And then defensively, we got a lot of guys that play with their hair on fire, the two that you met earlier. Brent and Bryce are a big part of our defense. And then we have a chance to be pretty good in the secondary. Another 8th grader, going to be a 9th grader, Evan Lemon, that could play anywhere from linebacker to the back half. Gives us an opportunity. We have a lot of guys that are hybrids.
Yeah.
That gives us an opportunity.
Multiple spots.
Right, to take reps in all kinds of places and give them the opportunity to be in the best position to succeed.
Coach, isn't that all a 1A mostly, the cross-train? Exception of maybe a couple of programs.
So when I was at Vermilion Catholic, we had about 50 on the team. And so we our best guys played both ways, but you still can kind of platoon in practice. You practiced offense at once, defense at once, but you always had your ones here. We don't want young guys being tackling dummies. We want them getting reps at full speed and those things. So we try and call everything in our terminology. We try and line them up like they're playing defense for us, and that's just ways we can steal reps. But we're working on more ways to get everybody reps in every position where they can continue to grow in that aspect.
Yeah, every time I watch a 1A game, your receiver's your DB, your linebacker might be your offensive tackle, your defensive tackle might be your offensive tackle. Your running backs might be your linebackers. So just like Cameron Randall does it for you, and Tyler going both ways. But what do you think of 1A in South Louisiana compared to 1A in North Louisiana?
There's some really good teams in North Louisiana. At VC, we ran into St. Frederick's and Ouachita Christian. Those are some very good schools. And down here, there's some good talent around here as well at the 1A level. So I just think I firmly believe if you want to test, your patience and what kind of coach you are, you ought to give 1A a try, because it's a big puzzle piece, and it just shows you how good some of these coaches are at this level. Some of the things that they're able to do with such small numbers. I can remember going to the Dome and watching, I think it was Port Sulphur years ago. It was years and years ago.
Crutchfield's teams back in the day.
I mean, 18 to 25 kids on the sideline.
The Randall Mackeys before Bastrop and all those teams.
So, I mean, it's fun to coach at this level. It really, it really puts you to the test every week, and it's fun to see these guys succeed at different places.
I remember a quarterback at at South Plaquemines, coach. His last name was Bowie. He was 6'1", 250. And it was the craziest thing in 1A that nobody could stop him because he ran a 4.69. And he got the ball. He looked like Jerome Bettis at quarterback, and they were in the Dome, and it's like nobody can stop that guy in 1A. The D linemen were 180, and this Bowie guy, he was just – he didn't go to college and be an All-American, but he was a heck of a player in high school. One last thing I want to say before we go to break. Coach has a guy whose son, his dad played at Southern and was a 4-year starter, Sam George, who's a young guy for you.
Yeah, it's our quarterback.
And Sam George was he's a treasure and a famous guy from Opelousas High School. Started, I think, 3 years for Southern University at quarterback, and helped Pete Richardson win a lot of games. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, he's and he's phenomenal. He comes to me and he's like, Coach, I'm noticing he's not doing this with his feet. Like, you need me to help him with it. Like, he's great. A lot of our parents are like that.
And Sam, if you don't remember Sam George, he was only 5'8", 5'9" in college, but he was like Herb Tyler to LSU, if you remember Herb Tyler, who went
lightning in a bottle.
Herb Tyler was a great player for LSU. We'll be back, and we're going to have more with Coach. We're going to talk about the Pelicans, which I watched a little basketball. I did watch the first game against the Phoenix Suns. Chris Paul took him to the house, Coach, who was a Hornet at one time. Or was he a Pelican? I get confused.
He was a Hornet.
He was a Hornet. They changed it, Pelicans, Hornets, I don't know. We'll be right back.
So, hey, guys, just wanted to take a minute to tell you about Harvey Autos. If you need a new or used car, there's 3 great dealerships right here worth checking out. John Harvey Toyota, Harvey Subaru, and Lexus of Shreveport, Bossier City. Low prices, honest people. Tell them Lee sent you.
Welcome back. You're watching the Sports Scouting Report. I'm your host, Lee Brecheen. We got Travis Blaize, the head coach for Westminster. I said that right, I think. No I in the end. From out of Opelousas, Louisiana. And I want to tell you some upcoming shows. Tentatively, we've got one of the head coach from Mangum High School in Monroe. Speaking of a great program the last 10, 15 years, putting players out, winning games, going to the championship games. We've got some other great coaches coming on scheduled for our podcast. And again, later this week, we've got a great North Louisiana guest that we'll share with you in a couple of days. I want to go back to Coach Blaize with Westminster. Coach, schedule's going to be kind of tough this year. I thought your team should have made the playoffs last year, 6-4. The team you beat did get in. It's kind of crazy, the PowerPoint thing. I'm not a fan of that. But you really scheduled heavy non-district this year coming up. Talk about that coming up.
So we started by adding Vermilion Catholic in the scrimmage because that's a perennial powerhouse in D4 every year. And then our jamboree that we're hosting, we're playing Ascension Episcopal, who's become a powerhouse in D3. So before the season even starts, I want the boys to be battle tested. And then we had a Grand Lake, a tough, physical, hard-nosed program. That was where we ran into some issues last year, playing those teams that will get in 2 tight ends and just pound the rock. And, so us to play a good team that's very well coached from a different part of the state. Hamilton Christian had a phenomenal year last year. Now they got a new coach. He's going to run the air raid, so that's going to be fun for our kids to see somebody who throws the ball a little bit. And then we'll be playing Delcom, who's a physical 2A school. They beat my alma mater, Catholic High, last year. Huge win for their program, and their coaching staff does a really good job. So
Catholic High, New Iberia, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we beefed up the schedule before the expansion because we didn't want to run into a situation where our kids had a winning record, and because D4 is so competitive, there's so many good teams that we're on the outside looking in. So, and I want them to be tested. We play a very tough district, OC. St. Ed's, Point Coupee. You know, these are in Sacred Heart. These are really good football schools. So, and then look, the guy at North Central is working his tail off with it. They're not going to be. I'll come in here and guarantee that they'll find a win somewhere next year.
They got good-looking players.
Oh, man.
They don't have a lot of them, but they got some good-looking players. Big guys, tall, skilled guys. And, Coach, just for trivia for you, but I just found out that the new coach at Hamilton Christian, I went to high school with him.
Really?
Reagan McDaniel. You know, someone you don't see in a long time. I didn't even know he was a coach. He was in Texas for 20 years coaching in Texas high school football. And he's coming on in like a week or two, so you have to check that out too.
Yeah, so a dear friend of mine, Brooks Hack, is a air raid guy, so I always pick. I said, look, one of your disciples is
You're already on top of it.
So, we're keeping our eyes peeled. You know, you're always watching for the news.
I'm impressed. Coach already knows that Reagan McDaniel is a Hal Mummy guy and a Mike Leach guy, so that's going to be interesting. And then Coach District's going to be hard, like you said. Talk about you had 5 away, 5 home.
So during the regular season, 4 home, 6 away, but we are hosting a jamboree this year, so that'll be a home game for us. We'll play Ascension Episcopal, but the jamboree's got some phenomenal teams. I think it's going to be the best small school jamboree in the state of Louisiana. Our Lafayette campus is going to make its 11-man football debut against Thrive Academy from out here in Baton Rouge. Then Vermilion Catholic will play Episcopal out of Baton Rouge, so that'll be a great game, and then we'll finish the night against the Ascension Episcopal Blue Gators. So some really good football coming to Opelousas on August 26th that we're very excited for.
And usually jamborees can be any night. Is that a Thursday or Friday?
It's a Friday.
Because I know some are on Thursdays.
Right. We're doing it on the Friday. We're going to scrimmage the Thursday, give our kids a week, and then kind of get into the season routine and those things. But we're very excited because I'm glad those teams accepted the invite. And
that's big time.
Huge for our school to – and it's huge for our kids to see good teams like that. The more you watch good teams, the more you try to emulate success.
And tell everybody where it's going to be again, Coach.
It's going to be in Opelousas at Westminster Christian Academy. It's going to be at our home stadium. It's going to be 3 great games starting at 5:30, and we'll just roll through as the time goes. So
yeah, that's going to be real good stuff.
Absolutely.
I might try and make that. I know I do. I come up and watch the Kiwanis Jamborees usually in Lafayette. I don't know if they're going to hold them at UL anymore or where they're all over the place now. But.
Yeah, so being that was one of the new things coming to St. Landry Parish is, you know, I always knew what was going on in Lafayette. Now I have to kind of pay attention a little closer to home. So I know that they have the Jamboree at Donald Gardner.
There's like a 2-day event, I believe, like 8 to 10 teams, something like that.
Something like that. So, but we're hosting our own, and it's a good chance for us to grow our brand and get people on campus and see what we're working with. Our campus is beautiful. It's a good experience. We're going to cook for people. It's going to be
go to the Jamborees, because I went to a Jamboree and watched Tyler Shelvin play at Northside, and they were playing Jennings, and a guy named Trevor Etienne and his brother Travis Etienne was the junior at the time. I'm like, who's this Etienne? And that's when I saw him play.
He was
special.
Both
and
brothers are
Trevor's going to be an All-American for Florida. Unbelievable.
Special.
Coach, the Pelicans. You told me you're a little bit of a fan of the NBA Pelicans, just a little bit.
So that's probably my ride or die. And I was joking with my wife the other day. My daughter was in my arms. I was watching it. And I said, come take her. She said, why? I said, this is child abuse. I can't let her get her heart broken watching this team like I do so often. But, man, what an exciting year to be a Pelicans fan, and the future looks bright. So I've been very tuned into this year, and I'm just glad the way they play. The message of their head coach, he's a big-time man of God, man of faith, and I think he's a good positive role model for our kids to follow, for anybody that watches basketball, the young talent, you know, obviously with Zion probably coming back next year and those things. So it's fun, and look, it's always an adventure when you turn on Pelicans. They could win by 30, they could lose by 30, or get your heart broken, but it's definitely fun to follow.
Well, I got to ask you this. Chris Paul was a Hornet for such a long time in New Orleans. He's with Phoenix. He's trying to get a ring. He's never had a ring. He was close last year, didn't get the ring. Now, he went off on your Pelicans at 33 years old and scored. I watched it. I don't watch all the games, but he scored like 14 points in 3 minutes and went like 7 for 7 and went 3 for 3 from three-point land in the final 3 minutes of the game.
It was, they were making a little run, and you know, it's funny because I texted my brother who was watching the game, and I said, Chris Paul's about to settle all this down. I thought he would just play some defense, make some passes. I didn't think he was going to go out there and catch on fire and not miss a shot the rest of the game. But last year's finals was great because you were rooting for either Chris Paul or Giannis Antetokounmpo, both of them, I think, do things the right way. And so, you know, I'm rooting for my Pelicans, but I'd love to see Chris Paul, former Pelican.
The Greek god, there's 3 brothers in the league.
Is
that crazy? They're all 6'10", 3 brothers. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I've ever seen 3 brothers in the NBA.
I always point to Giannis as, you know, I look to all our kids, like, look what he looked like when he got in the league, and look what the weight room means. So.
Yeah, he was a pencil in the league. What, 190, 6'10"?
Not anymore.
Wingspan of 7'9". Now he's, 260, looks about 200 still. You can't guard a guy that dribbles the ball like a guard that's 7'5" in wingspan. No, you just can't guard him. I was happy to see the Bucks win it because growing up they were horrible. Can the Pelicans, before we go, can they beat Phoenix?
I think they're going to steal at least one game. I don't think they get swept, but I couldn't make any guarantees. It's a night-to-night thing, and any progress from where they were is phenomenal. I think they nailed the head coach and they nailed the trade, so I'm excited to see what they do moving forward.
And finally, before we go, what do you think of Coach Kelly in a short time at LSU? Have you had a chance to kind of digest that hire as well?
I don't follow LSU as close as I follow UL. I haven't went to UL, but you know, you hear all the rumors going into they're going to get this guy, they're going to get this guy, and I thought it was a solid hire. I knew they wanted to change, and they brought in a good coach with a great pedigree, and I think he's gonna steer LSU in a good direction. So the biggest thing is always, you know, you always watch the coordinators, right? You know, the Joe Brady effect from a couple of years ago, and so I'm excited to see what these coordinators do and some of the talent that they have coming up. I think they could be special.
And how great Steve Ensminger was with Joe Brady as a team. And had a coach over there from UL that did a good job with them. Jorge Munoz was a great coach for LSU. Any final thing to say to the camera, Coach, about football in the Opelousas area, greater Acadiana area? I mean, it's great football. LSU signed 4 players from the area last year, to give you an idea. I mean,
well, I know to give a shout out to my wife. I always say the most important member of any coaching staff or any team is the coach's wife. And shout out to my dad, my role model, who's got me into this and showed me the right way to do things. And I thank my mentors, Chris Towery and Doug Dotson, for all they've done for me. And as far as football in the area, the Acadiana area is special. That's why when they travel around the state, it's always such a great game when you run into a powerhouse from the north and those things. The talent is special wherever you go, and I think we play a good brand of football down south and some really special players. If you ever get a chance, come and check it out.
And Chris Towery is the head coach at Sulphur High School. I think they're going to do really good this year. Doug's still coaching.
He's at Walker now.
Walker, and was at Como for a long time. He was at Central. His dad, the legendary Bill Dotson, Acadiana.
Some great guys that I can turn to for anything.
Now, Coach, that'd be another show. Acadiana and Karen Crow, Lafayette Christian, right? That's it's a 9-hour show by itself. Easily. But today is your time, and appreciate you coming on, Cameron Randall, Tyler DeJean.
Thank you so much for having us, and thank y'all for covering high school football. I think what you guys do is special. Getting these kids out here and letting their voices be heard, and we're thankful for y'all. You guys are welcome at Westminster anytime.
Thank you for serving our country. Really hope you enjoyed the show. Again, check us out on YouTube, our website, lafootballmagazine.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can go to Podbean, is where we actually carry our show, but we carry it on most platforms. And at Twitter, like our magazine. You can if you want to follow me, at Lee Brecheen. We will see you later this week. We'll see you.
Thanks for listening to the Sports Scouting Report podcast with Lee Brecheen.